Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's just dive straight in because, wow, things have completely shifted. Think about it. A year ago, getting real tangible results from AI felt like a massive struggle, right? Today, it is a totally different landscape. But here's the secret. Getting ahead of 99% of AI users out there in 2026 is actually not about learning highly technical skills, and it's definitely not about exhausting yourself keeping up with every single minor update on Twitter. It is purely about strategy. In this explainer, we are going to break down the exact frameworks you need, from ecosystem depth all the way to something incredible called vibe coding. We're going to transform you from a casual AI user into an absolute powerhouse. Let's get to it.
So let me ask you something. Are you still bouncing between like 5 different AI tools every single day? Because if you are, I bet you're experiencing some serious AI fatigue. And honestly, you're making the biggest mistake of 2026. Right now, the error isn't that you're choosing the wrong tool. No. The massive mistake holding so many people back is constantly switching. Jumping from ChatGPT to Claude, then over to Gemini, then maybe Perplexity, all before going deep enough to actually learn what any single one of them can truly do.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll cover the tool hopping trap. Then, 2, the ICC prompting framework. 3, mastering one AI ecosystem. 4, vibe coding your own tools. And finally, 5, your 2026 action plan.
All right, part 1, the tool hopping trap, mistakes in AI.
The core problem we're seeing everywhere is this shallow tool hopping. When you jump between different chat interfaces all day long, your AI leverage stays at a frustratingly shallow level. You end up with these super generic outputs, you waste a ton of time copy-pasting things back and forth, and you essentially hit the reset button, starting from zero every single day. Now, compare that to ecosystem depth. When you actually commit to one ecosystem, you aren't just using a basic chat interface anymore. You're tapping into connected builder tools, memory systems, and agents. The AI actually learns your specific preferences. It starts to automate your actual workflows, and it builds up this persistent knowledge base over time. Listen, a beginner who learns one system deeply will completely outpace an expert juggling 5 tools at a shallow level, every single time.
Let's move on to part 2, the ICC prompting framework. Because simple really is better here.
Look, complex prompt engineering, those multi-page, crazy prompts, it's mostly a waste of time today. The models are smart enough now that you really don't need magic words. But they absolutely still need structure. And that brings us to the incredibly simple ICC framework. It's 3 steps. First, instructions. Clearly define the exact task and the action you want taken. Second, context. Provide your role, the background, and your end objectives. Third, constraints. Set the rules, tone, style, length, and format. Honestly, think of it exactly like delegating a task to a brand new human employee. If you give a human a super vague task with 0 background and no rules, you're going to get a terrible result, right? Well, AI is exactly the same. The order you give these in doesn't even matter, just as long as you hit all 3 of these pillars.
But okay, here is a massive shortcut for you. Context is usually the hardest part of that ICC framework to nail down, simply because it's genuinely hard to know what background information the AI actually needs from you. Enter the context interview. This is a game changer. At the very end of your prompt, you simply ask the AI to ask you questions to gather the additional context it needs to accomplish the task. The AI knows what it needs way better than you do. So it asks, you answer, and suddenly, boom, the output is perfectly tailored to your specific situation, instead of just being some generic cookie-cutter response.
Now, a quick word of warning. Even with perfect context, generative models can and will confidently make things up, like literally hallucinating a legal precedent with absolute unquestionable certainty. So the crucial point here is knowing how to tame these hallucinations, especially if you're doing high-stakes work. Check out these techniques. First, ask the AI to explicitly indicate its confidence levels for its claims, so it actively flags its own uncertainty. Next, request cited sources and actually go verify them. Another great one, ask the AI to play devil's advocate and find an expert who would disagree with its own output. And finally, my personal favorite trick, copy the response and paste it into a totally different model for a critique. These models are actually way better at critiquing than they are at generating from scratch.
All right, part 3, mastering one AI ecosystem. Go deep, not wide. We really need to stop treating AI like it's just a souped-up Google search bar. Think of it this way. Starting a new chat for every single task is literally like hiring a brand new employee every single day. You have to explain who you are, what the company does, and what you want, totally from scratch. It's exhausting. But on the flip side, Starting a new, persistent project inside your AI ecosystem, that is like handing that new employee the company handbook, all your standard operating procedures, and your brand guidelines before they even start their first day. Creating these personalized workspaces brings a dramatic, immediate change to your AI experience. You aren't just chatting anymore. You are building a personal AI staff with one dedicated expert per topic.
I know the terminology across all these platforms gets super confusing, so let's map out the buzzwords across the big three. Notice how the concepts are totally parallel, regardless of which one you actually pick. For workspaces, Claude and ChatGPT call them projects, while Gemini goes with notebooks. For those dedicated side-by-side building panels where you edit code or text, Claude has artifacts, while ChatGPT and Gemini both call it Canvas. For usable processes, meaning saving a specific workflow so you can repeat it, Claude has skills, ChatGPT has custom GPTs, and Gemini uses gems. And for the ultimate feature, vibe coding, it's Claude Toad, Codex, and anti-gravity. The specific tool you use honestly matters way less than simply utilizing the full depth of whichever ecosystem you choose.
So, how do you choose? Well, here is a super quick guide based on their current unique strengths. Claude, it's widely considered the absolute winner for writing, crafting hooks, and doing deep critiques. ChatGPT really shines with its all-in-one breath. It has incredible native image generation and a wildly powerful live vision voice mode. And Gemini is your absolute best bet if your life is already deeply integrated with Google Workspace, Docs, Drive, Gmail. Plus, it has an unmatched ability to analyze full YouTube videos seamlessly. Honestly, just pick one. Upgrade to the paid plan and commit to it. That's the secret.
Moving on to part 4, vibe coding your own tools. Build without coding. This right here is the absolute pinnacle of our AI Masterclass. Let's completely demystify what is easily the most mind-blowing capability available to us in 2026, vibe coding. So what is it? It means describing a software tool in plain, everyday English and letting the AI write, test, and debug all the code without you ever touching a single line. Now, if you are non-technical, if you've never written a line of code in your life, hear me clearly on this. You absolutely can build bespoke, internal tools for yourself today. You just treat the AI like it's a built-in developer. When a bug pops up, it acts as your tutor. You literally just say, hey, what went wrong and how do we fix it? And it does all the heavy lifting for you.
Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine you want a highly customized Kanban board. You open up Claude Code and type out a simple description of this tool you want. Then you switch over to plan mode. Now, this mode acts as a powerful context interview, but specifically for software. Claude will start asking you questions to refine how the app should work. Once you say, yep, that plan looks good, it just builds the whole thing. You could even have it pull your meeting transcripts from an app like Granola, automatically extract all the action items into a beautiful to-do list, and even integrate it so that dragging a task in your new app automatically updates your whole team's Asana board. All of this built from plain language, seamlessly plugging right into your existing workflow. It's just wild. Now, once you have truly mastered your primary ecosystem, you're going to find it handles about 90% of your daily needs. But for that remaining 10%, here are the specialized heavy hitters you might want to dabble in. Higgsfield is absolutely incredible for comparing multiple image and video models side by side. Granola is amazing. It takes perfect meeting notes without forcing an annoying bot to join your Zoom call. Whisperflow is this crazy self-correcting dictation tool. You can just talk, mess up your words, correct yourself verbally, and it figures the text out perfectly. NAN is what you want for highly complex, customized agentic workflows. Notebook LM is Google's mind-blowing tool for source-grounded learning. It literally turns your uploaded documents into quizzes or even highly realistic audio podcasts. And Suno? Suno generates incredibly high-quality music. But remember our golden rule here. Only jump to these specialized tools after you've gone deep into your main ecosystem. All right, part 5, your 2026 action plan. It is time to start building today. We really need to bring all this theory together into immediate practical steps. So here is your actual challenge for today. Step 1, pick your primary ecosystem right now. Claude, ChatGPT, or Gemini. Just choose one. Step 2, open it up and run a context interview about your business or your daily workflow, and then save that into a persistent project workspace so the AI never forgets it. Step 3, log all your daily subtasks and literally just ask your AI which ones can be streamlined or automated using a reusable skill or custom GPT. And step 4, open up a builder like Claude Code or Canvas and use vibe coding to build just one simple custom tool today. Just one.
Look, the biggest difference between people who get results from AI and people who don't is simply implementation. The tools are already here. Frameworks like ICC and context interviews are incredibly accessible to everyone, and vibe coding has literally brought the barrier to creating custom software down to absolute zero. So knowing that you essentially have a world-class development team sitting right at your fingertips, what is the one tedious, annoying bottleneck in your life that you'll vibe code out of existence by this afternoon?